Good morning to the Commonwealth. This is Young Honey with Raw Dog Radio, bringing you the greatest old-time radio station since the bombs fell. If you're just tuning in, welcome. We're going to be hitting you with an arrangement of ragtime, unabridged stories, and other old-world medias just for you to fall asleep to or relax to. I'd like to send a specific thank you to publicdomainreview.org and archive.org for organizing and compiling all of this media. If you would like to listen to the standalone media, we have included a link in the description. Our last series followed the Frontier Man, but we're going to switch gears to the adventures of the Falcon. Hailing from the 1940s, the hard-boiled spy drama is now around 80 years old. If you can provide proof of your existence when it released as a syndicated radio series, I will personally come visit and cook you a continental breakfast. Without further ado, let's get to listening.
The Kraft Foods Company brings you The Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Myra. Oh, thanks for calling, but I can't make it tonight, Angel. Now, I have a client who's getting a lot of help from her boyfriend, and if I'm not careful, he's going to help her right into the electric chair.
This is Ed Hurley, friends, inviting you on behalf of the Kraft Foods Company to listen to The Adventures of the Falcon. You met the Falcon first in his best-selling novels. Then you saw him in his thrilling motion picture series. Now join him on the air when the Falcon solves the case of the broken fingerprint. Before the Falcon solves tonight's case, let's listen to this. Miracle Whip.
Has a flavor so pleasing.
Miracle Whip.
Tastes so lively, so teasing.
Miracle Whip.
Only one of its kind.
Miracle Whip.
Best salad dressing you'll find.
Miracle Whip tastes really good. Not too sharp, not too mild, but just exactly right. And Miracle Whip tastes different, too. Different from any other salad dressing. Try it yourself. See why it's America's favorite salad dressing. The one and only Miracle Whip. And now, the case of the broken fingerprints. It's Wednesday night in New York, and the apartment of Barry Barrow in the East 60s is in darkness. Ethel Barrow sits in the darkened apartment, drumming on the arm of her chair with her fingernails. Now she reaches out to the table beside her and fumbles about on it for a cigarette lighter. She finds the lighter, lights it, and uses its light to show her the time on her wristwatch. But when she hears voices outside the apartment, she flicks out the light quickly and stands up facing the door. A key turns in the lock. Front door opens. The light is turned on. And a man and woman enter.
Ethel.
Hello, Barry.
Oh, well, when did you...
I decided not to go away after all. I thought things might be more interesting around here.
Huh.
Well, aren't you going to introduce me to your friend? Yes, Barry. How about it? Who is this?
No, she.
Perhaps I'd better, since he's having so much trouble. I'm his wife, Ethel Barrow. And you're Norma Wallace. You live at 321 Pierce Place. You work at Corby's department store, and you've known Barry for 3 months. I know all about you, Miss Wallace. Though I can't say I'm pleased to meet you.
Barry, you never told me.
I was going to.
When? When you got tired of me?
Or me.
Oh, what can I say?
If we give you a couple of minutes to get over the shock, darling, I'm sure you'll think of plenty to say. But it's what you do that interests me.
What do you expect me to do?
I expect you to act like a heel. You always have.
You want a divorce, Ethel?
I'm not so sure I want to make things that easy.
Do you want a divorce, Barry?
I don't know what I want.
I know what you want. You want an easy out. This is one of those times when 3 is a crowd. Somebody has to be eliminated. The only question is, who is it to be?
Yes, what can I do for... Oh, Ted, what are you doing here?
I'm just shopping. I'd like a 5-pound box of chocolates. Send it to Norma Wallace, 321 Pierce Place, with all my love.
Ted, please.
I'm taking you to lunch.
You won't believe it's all over between you and me.
Just because of Barrow? Oh, he's got money, but I've got charm. Besides, I'm serious.
So's he.
Want to bet?
He asked me to marry him
You're not going to.
as soon as he gets his divorce.
Divorce? I didn't know he was married.
Neither did I.
Nice guy.
He was going to tell me.
Was going to? Does that mean that you found out for yourself?
I met his wife.
Well, it gets better all the time. You picked a Lulu. Now, look, Norma, no matter how things are between us, you can't go on with a guy like that.
No lectures, Ted. I'm not a child.
Then don't act like one. You've got to break this off.
We're
now.
settling it tonight. He's coming up to my place. We're going to make our plans.
Does his wife know?
No.
Norma, you
Let's
can't...
not discuss it here.
All right, at lunch.
If you insist. But I'm warning you, you'll be wasting your time.
I'll risk it. If there's any chance I can keep you from wasting your life. Hello?
Ted, can you come here right away?
Where are you?
At home.
What happened?
It's awful. I should have listened to you.
What is it?
I told you Barry was coming up here.
Yes?
When I got home, he was already here.
Well?
I found him on the floor. He's dead. Ted, come in.
Yeah.
There he is.
Did you touch anything?
No, that's just the way I found him.
How'd he get in? Did he have a key?
No. I don't know how he got in. Maybe the door was open.
Oh, that's no good.
Well, he doesn't have a key.
Norma, I'm trying to help
If you don't believe me, search him.
All right, he doesn't have a key. Then how are we going to explain his being here?
I don't know.
We'll have to think of something. Can't afford any holes in your story.
But what can we say?
We'll have to make up some explanation that'll hold water.
Maybe I'd better just call the police and tell the whole truth as far as I know it.
You asked me to help you, didn't you?
Yes.
Then do it my way.
But he was here. That's the truth. Why can't I just say
They'll never believe it. I don't believe it.
It's the truth.
There's no use repeating that. It's just no good. Now, let's see. He was killed here. There's no avoiding that. But the door being unlocked will never stand up. I know.
What?
You can say you were here when it happened. You let him in.
Oh, no, Ted.
Don't worry.
But then I'd have seen.
Not necessarily. I'll drag him over here to the door. Then I'll tell you what to say, and then you'll call Michael Waring.
Michael Waring?
Yeah, the Falcon. He's a private detective.
But what do I want with him? He might find out something the police overlooked. And if it's something we're trying to hide...
That's the chance we'll have to take, and that's just the point. If you were guilty, you wouldn't want to take that chance. By hiring Waring, you convince the police of your innocence.
Well, I hope you know what you're doing.
Don't worry, darling. You can stake your life on it.
I'd better be able to, Ted. Because that's exactly what I'm doing. When I found out he was married, I didn't want to have anything to do with him. But you know how it is, Mr. Waring. He wouldn't take no for an answer. He found out where I lived and came up to see me.
And you gave him the final brush, hmm?
Yes.
And then?
He went to the door, opened it, and then he saw someone in the hall. They had a few words, and then there was a shot.
What words?
I don't remember exactly. He said something like, "Oh, it's you." And she said, "Yes. Surprise, isn't it?" I think that's what it was.
You say she said.
Yes, it was a woman's voice.
But you didn't see her.
No, he was in the way.
No? Where were you?
Right over here.
That's funny.
What is?
That he blocked your view of the doorway. You say he dropped immediately when he was shot and you haven't touched anything, huh?
That's right.
Now, to block your view, he would have had to be standing in the doorway. And he fell forward because he's lying on his face, so he should have fallen into the hall. Instead, he's in the room and to the side of the door so that we can swing it open and closed without hitting him.
Well, maybe he staggered back.
Did he?
I don't remember. I was too startled. He must have.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
What you should have done when it happened instead of calling me or calling the police.
But you are going to help me.
Well, I'll try to find out who the murderer is if you still want me to. But I'm not so sure that comes under the heading of help. Are you?
Hello, Mike.
Well, hi, Ed. How's business?
Oh, hectic. And for you, too.
Huh?
Yeah, Sergeant Corbett has phoned 3 times for you this morning.
Oh, thanks, Ed. I told him I was having lunch here. What does he want?
Oh, I don't know, but he sounded sore.
Well, now what can be troubling him? I called him in on the case as soon as things broke yesterday.
Well, all I know is he keeps calling here and he sounds like he has more than hamburger and coleslaw in his mind.
Well, maybe he has. But you know, right at this moment, I don't. I'm hungry.
All right, what'll it be, Mike?
Well, I don't know. Let's see. Well, as far as I'm concerned, Ed's Luncheonette serves the best hamburger in town.
That's right.
All right, make it a nice big one. Some French fries.
And some of my special coleslaw.
Yeah. Trying to sneak a salad in on me again, huh?
Now, Mike, you know you've got to eat salad. They got lots of vitamins and minerals, the stuff you should have.
Yeah, sure.
Honestly, you think they didn't taste good the way you talk.
Well, I didn't say that.
Well, I should hope not. My salads taste mighty good. And you know why?
Yes, because you make them with your own lily white hands from recipes handed down from your great-great-grandmother on your father's side.
Yes. No, Mike. Not at all. It's the salad dressing I use. It's Miracle Whip.
Shh, not so loud. Somebody might be listening.
Oh, it's no secret, Mike. Folks everywhere know about Miracle Whip.
Huh?
Why, the craft salesman told me just yesterday that more Miracle Whip is sold than the next 20 leading brands of salad dressing combined. So it's America's favorite salad dressing. Imagine that.
Yeah, well, I'll try. Does it come in a solid gold jar or something?
No, Mike. It's just mighty good tasting. And folks know a good thing when they taste it. Miracle Whip has a swell, peppy flavor. A flavor that isn't too sharp either. My customers call it just right.
I see.
And you know, Miracle Whip tastes different, too. Because it really is a different kind of salad dressing. That's why they call it the one and only.
Ed.
Yes, Mike?
Now that I've succeeded in getting you all excited about what seems to be your favorite subject, I better tell you.
Well, tell me what?
I've been enjoying Miracle Whip on salads for years.
No kidding.
Yeah, sure. After all, I should know my salad dressing.
How come?
Well, I've had dates with lots of peaches. But I'll settle for an order of coleslaw right now.
Well, that'll be a pleasure, Mike. I know you'll like it. Uh-oh. That's more than I can say for your interview with Sergeant Corbett. Oh, here he comes. And if you think I was kidding about his being sore, catch that look in his eye.
All right, Waring, where is she?
Where is who?
Of course you don't know who I'm talking about.
Well, I'm glad we agree on something.
The girl, Norma Wallace. You're working for her.
And you found it out all by yourself. All right, what do you want, a pat on the head or a recommendation to the chief?
I want to know what's become of the girl.
Well, I assume she's done a vanishing act.
You assume. I questioned her last night. Went to talk to her again today.
And she stood you up. Well, you better start reading the ads, chum.
You know where she is.
Your confidence is touching. But as a matter of fact, Corbett, I haven't the slightest idea.
Oh, you're working for her.
Yes, so you said. So I ought to be the one who's excited, not you. Seems I've lost a client.
Oh, stop being funny.
Oh, thanks for the compliment.
Are you going to talk?
Gladly. What about?
All right, Waring, all right. But I'm going to prove you've been holding out, and when I do...
Oh, I shudder to think of it. Come on, sit down, Corbett. I see they have brains on the menu today. Why don't you try some?
Yes?
Hello, are you Mrs. Barrow?
Yes?
My name is Michael Waring. I'm investigating your husband's murder.
Are you a detective?
Yes.
That girl sent you.
What girl?
Norma Wallace.
What do you know about her?
Enough.
Enough to be jealous,
That's
huh?
what she'd like you to think, Mr. Waring. She wants you to believe that I killed Barry.
You had motive?
So did she. It takes 3 to make a triangle. And then there's Donahue.
Who?
Ted Donahue. He fits another triangle, and I'm not in that one.
Oh, how so?
He was the Wallace girl's boyfriend. He could have resented Barry's cutting him out.
Yes, so he could. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Barrow. I knew you'd help me.
You're easy to satisfy.
Oh, I'm not striking you off my suspect list yet. But right now, I'm not looking for the murderer. I'm looking for my client.
Yes? What do you want?
You Ted Donahue?
Yeah? Who are you?
Mike Waring. May I come in?
Why?
I want to talk to you.
What about?
Norma Wallace.
We can talk here.
Yes, but it would be more comfortable inside.
What do you want to know?
Where she is.
What makes you think I'd know?
Well, you're trying to keep me out, for one thing.
You think she's here?
I'm beginning to.
All right. Come on in. Look for yourself.
Thanks, that's better.
I haven't seen Norma in weeks.
Why not? You get the air?
No, it's just that, I never knew Norma very well.
That's not what she says.
What do you mean? She didn't tell you anything about me.
How do you know if you haven't seen her?
There's nothing to say.
Okay, if Norma isn't your girl, who is?
I don't have a girl.
Then who's the girl who was up here a little while ago?
What girl?
The one who left the lipstick on that glass.
Well, just a friend?
No. Well, do you mind if I take this glass?
What do you want with it?
I'm looking for Norma. I think you're a lead, but in case Corbett needs convincing, it may be the prints on this glass that will change his mind for him.
Put that down.
Look, I'll buy a dozen like it.
I said put it down. Hey, watch out. Give me that glass.
Hey, you shouldn't have knocked it out of my hand. Now it's broken.
Isn't that a shame? Here go your fingerprints.
No, not mine, Norma's.
You can't prove that.
Looks like you've already done it for me. Are you going to tell me where I can find her?
I don't know where she is. Now get out of here.
Okay. But when you see Norma, tell her...
I'm not going to see her.
Yes, I know, but when you do, tell her that if she wants me to help her, she'd better call me, hmm?
Hello?
Norma, listen quick. Right after you left, Mike Waring was here.
He was? How did he know about you?
Oh, I suppose he's not a detective for nothing.
Oh, Ted, I'm afraid my running away was a mistake.
There was no use taking chances. But I've got to talk to you.
All right, where shall I meet you?
Well, you can't come here, and I've got to be careful I'm not followed. Waring may think I'll lead him to you.
Well, what are we going to do?
Go to Penn Station. You can keep yourself lost in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
At 3:30 by the station clock, go upstairs on the 7th Avenue side. You know, where the big columns are.
Yes.
At exactly 3:30, walk out to the curb. I'll drive by and pick you up.
All right.
I'll make sure I'm not being followed. But if anything goes wrong, you just wait 2 minutes. If I haven't come in that time, get away from there fast. Then call me from a phone booth.
All right, Ted, but I wonder if it wouldn't be better if I...
It'll be better if you do just like I tell you. I'll see you at 3:30.
All right, Norma, quick.
Yes, Ted.
3:30 on the nose.
I don't like this hide and seek, Ted. It's going to mean trouble.
Will you leave things to me?
But how will I explain it?
You won't have to. You and I know that Mrs. Barrow killed her husband, and the police are bound to find it out. Once they do, it won't matter what you've done.
Then why is it necessary for me to run away?
I told you, they can't prove anything against you, but until they have a case against Mrs. Barrow, they may suspect you. They could lock you up and make things pretty unpleasant.
Well, this isn't exactly my idea of pleasant. Only there was some way to speed things up.
Well, maybe there is. That's why I wanted to see you.
You think there's something we can do?
Yeah, but first you'll have to get rid of Waring.
But you wanted me to hire him.
I know, but he's getting in the way. And for what I have in mind... Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
Police car. I think it's following us.
I thought you said no one...
I did. I was positive nobody followed me. I can't understand it.
Maybe they're just cruising this way.
I'll turn this corner and see.
All right. If they are following, what do we do?
Try to shake them?
I hate to get you involved.
I'm glad I have a chance to help.
Here they come.
And here I go.
I'm afraid this isn't such a good idea.
What else can we do?
I don't know, but trying to outrun a police car...
Hang on, corner coming.
All right. If they catch us, it's going to mean trouble for you, too.
I know.
They're gaining.
And look at that. Traffic's against us. We'll never get through. Well, this is it. Sorry, Norma.
You couldn't help it.
All right, buddy, what's the hurry?
What?
Didn't you see that red light back there?
Red light?
Yeah, when I tried to call you on it, you stopped playing tag.
You want me for going through a red light?
You're hitting 60 in city traffic.
Oh.
Your girlfriend thinks it's funny.
Officer, she has a screwy sense of humor. Don't pay any attention to her. Here's my license.
Hello?
Hello, is that Mr. Waring?
Yes. This sounds like my disappearing client.
Oh, ex-client, Mr. Waring. That's why I'm calling.
You picked a great time to fire me.
I don't think I need you anymore.
If Sergeant Corbett catches up with you, you'll think differently.
Does he really think I killed Barry?
You lied, you ran out. What do you expect him to think?
But I hired you.
Yes, and now you're firing me. Your hands look about as clean as some of the Kefava witnesses.
But it was Mrs. Barrow who killed Barry. You know that.
Corbett doesn't. He's satisfied with her alibi.
Oh, she has an alibi?
Yeah, she has. So you better come clean, Angel.
I have. I didn't do it.
Well, then why this weird routine?
I have my reasons.
They better be good ones. You're on a spot, baby.
Yes, I'm afraid I am.
Well, I'm still willing to listen if you want to forget about firing me. Provided, of course, that you have something to say.
I have.
All right, go ahead.
Well, it's just that Ted and I thought that...
Who's Ted?
A friend of mine. I called him when I discovered the body.
Oh, before you called me?
Before I did anything, I Decided I had to have help, and luckily he was home.
Wonder if it was so lucky.
Why do you say that?
His help didn't turn out so good.
Well, it was his idea that I hire you.
Was it also his idea that you fire me?
Yes.
Well, he seems to have a lot of ideas. Look, where are you? I think we better get together.
At the Burroughs Hotel on 43rd, room 405.
Okay, sit tight. I'll be right over.
All right, goodbye.
Is that the way you fire him, Norma?
Ted, I didn't know you were still here.
Looks like it's a good thing I am.
Yes, Ted. The only question is, good for whom?
Well, I can answer Norma's question, good for whom? They're good for everyone. I mean, salads are good for everyone. And they're mighty good eating, too, when you make them with Miracle Whip.
Miracle Whip.
Has a flavor so pleasing.
Miracle Whip.
Tastes so lively, so teasing.
Miracle Whip.
Only one of its kind.
Miracle Whip.
Best salad dressing you'll find.
Miracle Whip is the only one of its kind because it's a different type of salad dressing made from a secret craft recipe. Miracle Whip combines the best qualities of boiled dressing and old-fashioned mayonnaise, so it's truly distinctive and delicious, with a flavor millions of folks call just exactly right. Try it, won't you? One taste will tell you why it's America's favorite salad dressing, the one and only Miracle Whip. Now, back to the adventures of the Falcon. 10 minutes have passed since Mike Waring talked himself off the unemployment line. Ted had objections, but he seems to have been overruled, because when Norma opens the door for the Falcon, Ted is nowhere in sight.
Hello, Mr. Waring. Come in.
Thanks. What's the matter with you? You look frightened.
Frightened? No, just bewildered.
About what?
You said Mrs. Barrow has an alibi.
According to Corbett.
I don't understand it.
Why not?
I told you Barry went to the door, and I heard him talking to someone just before he was shot.
Yeah.
I said it was a woman's voice. I'm almost certain it was Mrs. Barrow.
Well, why didn't you say that before?
I didn't like to accuse her without being sure.
What made you change your mind?
I haven't. I just want you to check. Couldn't there be something wrong with her alibi?
Yes, there could be, but not as wrong as with your story.
What do you mean?
You're lying again.
I'm not.
You didn't hear Barrow talking to anybody.
What makes you say that?
When you spoke to me on the phone, you used the phrase, when I found the body.
But...
If Barrow had been killed in front of you, you wouldn't have talked about finding the body. You wouldn't have had to find it. Would have been right there.
I meant when I found he was dead.
Well, that's not what you said.
You misunderstood me.
Yes, and apparently I still do. I suppose we go see Sergeant Corbett and get this straightened out.
No.
Look, you can't keep running.
I can try. And in case you have any idea of trying to stop me, this gun should change your mind.
Well, it's changed. But not as often as you changed yours. Goodbye, Norma. Well, Angel, have you changed your mind again?
Let me in.
Yeah, sure. Now, look, before we go any further, I'm taking the gun, just in case you decide to make another switch.
Here it is. It's not loaded.
Now she tells me.
I'm sorry about what happened. I couldn't help myself.
Oh, well, I can't help yourself either unless you start telling the truth for a change.
I will.
Okay, at least that'll be a novelty. Go ahead.
I didn't see the shooting. I didn't hear any voices, Mrs. Barrow's or anyone else's. I just said I did because Ted told me it would sound better that way.
Mm-hmm.
Ted told me what to say. He told me to run away.
Look, did you have to take orders from him?
I thought he was trying to help me.
Some help.
I was frightened. I had to turn to someone. I trusted Ted. Then he told me to fire you. I tried, but you talked me out of it.
But somebody talked you out of that.
Yes. Ted overheard my conversation with you. He was furious. He made me say what I did to you when you got up there. He was hiding in the next room.
And if you had disobeyed?
He had a gun, and his was loaded.
Does he know you came here?
Of course not. If he finds out...
Well, he won't find out. Where is he now?
He went home. Thinks I went home.
How come he trusted you?
He said if I didn't do exactly what he told me, he'd prove that I killed Barry. But I know he can't, so if you'll help me,
All right, I will. Now call him. Tell him you've got to talk to him. Ask him to come right over. It'll take him 20 minutes to get to your place. By that time, we can be there, too.
But what are we going to do?
Well, first, I'll have to have all the facts, so for a change, let's have exactly what did happen today from the beginning.
All right. I let myself into the apartment, and there was Barry on the floor. Blood still running out of that hole in his head. It was awful. Who's that?
I don't know.
What if it's Ted? What if he didn't go home, if he followed me?
All right, I'll handle it.
Can I get out the back?
Now, just sit tight. If it is Ted, now's the chance to wrap this up, and I can't do it without you. Yeah, I'm coming. You'll be all right. Just leave it to me.
If you say so.
I do. Oh, Sergeant Corbett, this is a surprise.
So I see. You didn't know where the girl was, did you, Waring? You couldn't help me find her. Oh, no.
That's right, Corbett.
Sure. Well, Miss Wallace, has Waring finished coaching you on what to say?
No, I didn't have to, Corbett. She had lessons from an expert.
Huh?
Yeah, she called him in as soon as she found the body. He told her what to say and do.
That's right.
Who's this we're talking about?
Ted Donahue.
And he told her to run out on me?
Yep.
I'd like to talk to this Donahue.
Well, that can be arranged. But first, I'd like to hear the medical examiner's report.
Well, what's to hear? Bullet in the brain, died instantly. 32 caliber.
Okay, that's enough.
All right, Waring. Do we see Donahue?
If you like.
I like. But don't get the idea that because I'm willing to listen, you're steering me off your girlfriend here.
But, Sergeant...
And as for you, Waring, I'm going to prove you knew where she was.
Oh, think whatever you want about me, Corbett. But you can't think that Norma did the shooting.
Oh, can't I?
Of course not.
Why not?
Because she did.
What's that?
Sure, Norma, you killed Barry. So with Corbett's habit of always being wrong, he can't possibly think it was you. Coffee and Danish head, please. I missed dessert before.
Well, Mike, we've got the motive. When it came to a showdown, Barrow decided to stick with his wife. So Norma plugged him.
Oh, keep it up, Corbett. You're doing fine.
Well, what's to keep up? That's it?
Well, not entirely. How about the clue that gave her away?
She must have said something to you.
Well, don't you want to know what it was?
All right, Waring. If you've got to strut your stuff, go ahead. How did you happen to stumble onto this one?
Stumble, he says.
Well, what do you want me to do? Beat my head on the floor in appreciation?
That's an idea.
Well, if you want to tell me how bright you are, go ahead. I'm listening. But get it over with.
Well, Norma played along with Ted Donahue in order to have a fall guy in reserve. And he was crazy enough about it to try to keep her out of trouble. Anyway, when it turned out that Mrs. Barrow had an alibi that satisfied the police, Norma decided to make use of Ted. Only she went a little too far.
How so?
Well, if she just left it at the things he actually did, she might have been all right. But she tried to tell me he pulled a gun on her and threatened her. Well, he only would have done that if he were actually the killer.
Well, that's what she was trying to prove.
Yes, but since he couldn't be the killer, it gave her away.
Couldn't? Why not?
Well, you said Barrow was killed instantly. And Norma admits that when she found him, he was still bleeding. And bleeding stops a few minutes after a person dies.
Well, so why couldn't she have found him in the first few minutes?
Because she told me that as soon as she found the body, she called Donahue at his home. Well, Donahue lives at least 20 minutes away from Norma. If he was home, he just couldn't have been at Norma's.
Oh, huh? Well, Waring, nice try.
Try? Solve the case.
Yeah, but you were trying to show me how bright you are. Can't say that I'm impressed. After all, you pulled quite a boner.
What?
You pinned the murder on the girl, and she happens to be a dainty dish.
Mm-hmm.
But who wants to go dating at Sing Sing?
Well, you got a point there, Corbett. But you're overlooking one thing.
What's that?
Mrs. Barrow. Now, she's going to be lonely. A few months from now, she's going to want someone to cheer her up, to wine her, dine her, do the town. And speaking of dishes, Corbett, that's mine.
Did you know that you can make a rich, delicious chocolate-flavored malted milk right in your own kitchen? Well, you can, and easily, with Kraft's wonderful chocolate-flavored malted milk. Just make a tasty paste of some Kraft malted milk and a little milk in the bottom of a tall glass. Fill that glass with chilled milk, stir it again, and there you are. Your Kraft malted is delicious, and it's mighty nourishing, too, because it's full of all the food values in milk. Enjoy a Kraft malted often. Get a jar of Kraft chocolate-flavored malted milk from your grocer tomorrow. The case of the nervous shakedown. The case of the nervous shakedown. That's the title of next week's Adventure of the Falcon. when Mike Waring learns that what some people try to get away with is pure, unadulterated murder. So be sure to listen at this same time next week to another exciting adventure of the Falcon, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company. The Adventures of the Falcon are based on the famous character created by Drexel Drake, produced by Bernard L. Schubert, written tonight by Jerome Epstein, and directed by Richard Lewis. Music was by Arlo. Les Damon was starred as the Falcon, with Chuck Webster as Sergeant Corbett. This is Ed Hurley speaking for the Kraft Foods Company.
Laugh with Groucho. He's next on NBC.
The Kraft Foods Company brings you The Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, Alicia. I'm glad you phoned. No, I'll have to pass, Angel. I'm all tied up on business. Some boy I know has a sure thing going, and he feels that together we ought to make a killing.
This is Ed Hurley, friends, inviting you on behalf of the Kraft Foods Company to listen to The Adventures of the Falcon. You met the Falcon first in his best-selling novels. Then you saw him in his thrilling motion picture series. Now join him on the air when the Falcon solves the case of the nervous Shakedown. Before the Falcon solves tonight's case, let's listen to this.
Miracle Whip.
Has a flavor so pleasing.
Miracle Whip.
Tastes so lively, so teasing.
Miracle Whip.
Only one of its kind.
Miracle Whip.
Best salad dressing you'll find.
Miracle Whip tastes really good. Not too sharp, not too mild, but just exactly right. And Miracle Whip tastes different, too. Different from any other salad dressing. Try it yourself. See why it's America's favorite salad dressing. The one and only Miracle Whip. And now, the case of the nervous Shakedown. It's Wednesday evening in New York, and a seedy-looking character named Ozzie Miller walks into Blake's, a small bar and grill off 3rd Avenue. Then, spying a familiar face at the bar, he strolls over with an assurance he hardly feels.
Hiya, Mr. Quinn.
Huh?
Cold out tonight, ain't it? But it must be...
What do you want, Miller?
What's the matter? Can I buy you a drink?
You buy me a drink?
Yeah.
That's a switch. What do you intend to use for money?
Don't worry about that, Steve.
Steve?
Hey,
huh?
Blake, how about a little service down here? What you drinking, Steve?
Look, you crumb, who do you think you're kidding?
But you think I ain't got no money. Take a look at this.
That's quite a roll.
There's a lot more where that came from.
Where'd you get it, Miller?
That happens to be a little Ozzie's business. Hey, Blake, we're gonna get some service here, but me and my friend have to go elsewhere.
For my part, you can go jump
Lay off
right...
him, Blake.
Yeah, sure, Steve.
Hurry it up, hurry it up. You know what I was thinking, Steve?
Nope.
You ain't seen that blonde anymore, are you?
Oh, you mean Francine Walker?
Yeah. I was wondering if you'd be sore if I,
Tried to date her?
If you mind, Steve, just say the word.
Of course not, Ozzie.
You think she'd go out with me?
Well, I should be crazy not to. How'd you like me to fix it up for you?
Would you?
For a pal? Anytime. I tell you what. Let's go in the back, and I'll phone her right now. Blake.
Yeah.
Mr. Miller and I are going in the back, and we don't want to be disturbed for anything.
Yeah, well, what if...
I said for anything. Sit down, Ozzie.
You want a dime?
What?
For the phone.
Oh, yeah. You want me to call Francine?
And what are you going to tell her?
Well, that all depends, Ozzie, on how much you tell me first. How much was in that road you just flashed?
What do you want to know for?
Just curious. I bet you had $500 there.
Look, Quinn, if you don't want to call Francine for me, just say so.
Where'd
and
you
I'll...
get that money?
That's for me to know and for you... Hey, keep your hands to yourself.
Where'd you get that dough?
I found it.
Don't lie to me, you punk.
Hey, let me go.
I'm gonna get the truth if I have to break every bone in your body. Personally, that's the way I'd rather do it.
Yes?
Say, this is going to be more fun than I thought.
I beg your pardon.
Are you Laura Sherman?
That's right.
Well, I'm very glad to know you, Miss Sherman. My name is Steve Quinn.
Steve Quinn?
Oh, don't look so puzzled, honey. There's no reason why you should know me. I don't move in your circle like Ozzie Miller.
What?
Well, you know Ozzie, of course. He's a swell guy. Hey, why don't I come in?
I can think of 100 reasons, Mr. Quinn.
Oh, you don't really mean that.
Now, look, if you're not out of here in 2 seconds...
What'll you do, call the police? Oh, I take it then you don't mind if I stay.
What do you want?
Just a chance to get acquainted. Hey, that's an original Picasso up over the fireplace, isn't it?
How would you know?
Oh, you'd be surprised at the things I know, Laura. Now, I'd say you were strictly the 20-carat type. That's what I just finished telling Ozzie.
Now, look, if you think you're going to get any money out of me...
That's what I had in mind.
Did you ever consider working for it?
Well, that's too obvious. Anybody can do that.
Well, you're wasting your time, Quinn.
You know, I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. So it's lucky that I'm prepared with an answer. Now, Ozzie said if you got difficult, to mention Brooklyn and the date December 31st.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're in the best position to know.
How much do you want?
A check for $1,000.
I can't afford it. Not if I have to...
Take care of Miller? Oh, don't you worry your pretty little head about him. He won't bother you anymore. Hey, you want a pen? Now, be honest. Isn't it nicer to deal with me than Ozzie?
I think I'd rather be blackmailed by him.
You'll get used to me, Laura. If you don't, it'll be my own fault, because I'll certainly give you every opportunity. Oh, make that payable to cash, if you don't mind.
Oh, waiter.
Yes, Mr. Gaynor?
Have you seen Miss Sherman around?
No, sir.
Well, if she should come in, would you tell...
Bill!
Oh, there you are, Laura. I was beginning to get worried.
Well, I was tied up on a little business matter.
You sure it was business?
Just what do you mean by that, Crack?
Suppose we sit down.
I want to know what you meant.
You were due here at 2:30.
So?
So when you didn't show at 3, I went over to your place. And just as I got out of the elevator, I saw a stocky boy going in.
You don't mean Steve Quinn.
Who?
Oh, never mind. You thought he was my new romantic interest?
What else was I to think? You know how I feel about you, Laura.
No, I don't.
I'm crazy about you.
But you don't trust me.
No, it isn't that, dear.
Then what is it?
I was just curious. Of course, it's none of my business.
You're
and
so right. But you couldn't resist trying to make it yours, and I happen to object. If I were you, Bill, I'd get myself a girl who won't mind.
S L 3 1 1 5 2.
Hello?
I'd like to speak to Mike Waring, please.
This is Waring.
Oh, well, my name is Bill Gaynor.
Who?
Bill Gaynor. I've heard a lot about you, Mr. Waring. They tell me the Falcon is the finest private detective in these parts.
Who told you that?
Well, what difference does it make?
None, except that I've been running into that line so often, I'd like to reward the boy who's spreading the propaganda.
I wonder if you could handle an assignment for me. I don't know your fee.
I can tell you. $50 a day plus expenses.
Well, fair enough. I'm interested in a man named Steve Quinn. I'd like to find out everything I can about him.
Why?
But what do you mean, why?
Well, I assume your interest in Mr. Quinn is more than academic.
Well, it is. He's been bothering my fiancée.
Well, then she should complain to the police. Quinn's got a record as long as your arm. He's tried everything in his day, from arson to robbery.
Has he ever attempted blackmail?
Wouldn't be surprised.
Well, thanks a lot, Waring. You confirmed a hunch. If you'll send me a bill at the Kempton, I'll be more than glad to take care of it.
That you, Randy? All right, you don't have to break down the door. Next time you might let him... Who the devil are you?
I'm looking for a Mr. Quinn.
Well, I don't know if I can accommodate you. There are a couple of us. Which one do you want?
Steve Quinn.
Then I'm your party. What's on your mind, mister?
You'd be surprised. My name is Bill Gaynor.
That's interesting.
A couple of hours ago, you were up to see Laura Sherman.
Was I?
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Gaynor, but you're no cop, are you?
Nope.
That's what I figured. Somehow you didn't look official to me.
I'm engaged to Miss Sherman.
Wow, bully for you. It's a wonderful girl you got there.
And I intend to keep her.
Oh, you think that I... Hey, that's very funny.
No, I don't think anything of the sort, Quinn. I know why you went to see Laura. You're blackmailing her.
Look, if you don't mind, friend, try to keep your voice down, will you? This is a public hallway. These neighbors of mine are awfully nosy.
You are going to tear up that check that she gave you.
Am I?
Yep, and you're never going to bother her again.
Well, under the circumstances, I guess there's only one thing for me to do. I'm sorry we don't have an elevator in this house.
Huh?
You'd be surprised how easy it is going down these stairs. Happy landings, kid.
Can I get your towel, Mr. Gaynor?
What?
I asked if I could get your towel. Hey, what happened to you? Hey, you ought to have a doctor.
How'd you get in here?
The door was open.
Well, you got your nerve.
Yeah, that's a civil service for you.
Civil service?
Oh, didn't I mention it? I'm a cop.
A cop?
Uh-huh, Sergeant Corbin. Heard you had a little trouble at 5 o'clock tonight with a boy named Steve Quinn. Did he do all that to you?
No.
You sure?
Look, it doesn't matter, Sergeant. I don't wish to prosecute.
Well, now, that's very tolerant of you, but unfortunately, the state of New York isn't that broad-minded.
What are you talking about?
Steve Quinn was murdered 20 minutes ago.
He what?
Uh-huh. I hope you got either a good alibi or a good private eye handy. 'Cause confidentially, Mr. Gaynor, I think you can use both. Hi, Eddie. How goes it?
Oh, couldn't be better, Sergeant.
Say, you seen Mike Waring around?
No, but he should be here any minute. I'm working up something special for him.
Well, how about something special for me? Cops eat too, you know.
Okay. Ed's Luncheonette. Never let an officer go hungry. And for you, I have something very special.
Fine. What is it?
Lettuce and tomato salad.
Oh, are you kidding?
Nope.
Well, what's so wonderful about lettuce and tomato salad?
Well, lettuce and tomatoes are full of vitamins and minerals.
Yeah, but...
But besides, there's a dressing that I use that gives this everyday salad a very distinctive flavor. Miracle Whip.
Well, this Miracle Whip really tastes different, does it?
Oh, sure it does, Sergeant. You see, there's no other salad dressing like Miracle Whip. It's the one and only. Got a flavor that's not too sharp or too mild, but just exactly right.
Well, it's got to be doggone good to pep up lettuce and tomato.
Ah, Miracle Whip does just that. Adds a nice peppy flavor to the salad.
Hey, is anyone else eating this marvelous salad of yours, or are you experimenting on me?
For your information, Sergeant, more Miracle Whip is sold than the next 20 leading brands of salad dressing combined.
Is that a fact?
Yes, sir. That's why Miracle Whip is America's favorite salad dressing.
You know, Eddie, you just about convinced me. One last question, though.
Shoot.
Whatever it is.
Miracle Whip.
Yeah, Miracle Whip. Who makes it?
Kraft.
Kraft? Mm-hmm. What exactly is it called again?
Miracle Whip.
Well, why didn't you say so in the first place?
Oh.
Why, sure, bring it on. Good gosh, I've been using that wonderful Miracle Whip on my salads for years and years.
Oh, how do you like a guy like that?
Hey, Sergeant, that sounds good enough to eat. Suppose you dish one up for me, too, Eddie.
Okay, Mike, it'll go nice with that sandwich I fixed up for you.
Good
Well,
boy.
as I live and breathe, if it isn't the one and only Falcon. I've been looking for you.
On business?
Yeah. Ever hear of a boy named Bill Gaynor?
Why?
I'm asking the questions now.
Well, he was up to see me yesterday. He wanted some information about Steve Quinn.
What'd you tell him?
Only what I knew.
Obviously, it was more than enough.
Well, what are you talking about?
Quinn was bumped 2 hours ago.
I don't believe it.
Well, if you'd like to step down to the morgue, I'll be glad to show you the body.
You think Gaynor did it?
I know he did.
You're out of your mind. He couldn't have killed Quinn.
Why couldn't he?
Well, he's not the type. If you knew human nature...
But you do.
Yes. Now, listen, Sergeant, how's chances of me talking to Gaynor?
You think you can get him out?
I know I can.
Well, that's the kind of a challenge I can't resist. Okay, Mike, but you might as well finish your sandwich first. You'll be eating crow later. Gaynor.
What do you want?
Mike Waring's here.
Mike Waring?
Hello, Gaynor.
Gee, it's good to see you again, Mike.
Well, I don't think there's any reason to detain you any longer, Sergeant.
Does that mean you'd rather I go?
You mind?
Why should I? Anything you want, just yell.
Thank you. All right, Gaynor, sit down.
I didn't kill Steve Quinn.
Then who did?
I have no idea, Mike.
According to the police, you had a fight with him this afternoon.
Yeah, but I didn't kill him.
Now, what was the hassle about?
Absolutely nothing.
You mean he pitched you down a flight of stairs just out of sheer caprice? Look, Gaynor, if I'm going to help you, I'll have to know the whole story.
Well, Quinn and I had trouble over some girl.
What's her name?
What, does it matter?
Yes, very much so. Who is she?
Ethel Barry.
Where does she live?
Well, as a matter of fact, she's no longer in town.
Oh, no?
No, I think she had a Continental Trailways ticket for, I believe it was El Paso.
When was this?
Oh, quite a while back.
Uh-huh. Tell me something, Gaynor. Do I really look that stupid?
What do you mean?
That story's got more holes in it than my head.
Listen, Waring...
Only if you're going to make sense. Now, how long have you been engaged to Laura Sherman?
What do you know about Laura?
Just what I read in the papers. Is she the woman in the case?
No.
Now, look, friend, you're in no position to be noble.
I'm not trying to be, but she had absolutely nothing to do with this. If you knew Laura...
Yeah, well, I don't, Gaynor. And with you in here, this looks like the best time to get acquainted. All right, Sergeant, open them up.
Very sweet of Bill Gaynor to give you my name, Mr. Waring. I can't tell you how I appreciate it.
Well, in all fairness to him, he tried to keep you out of this, Laura.
Laura?
Well, I feel as though I know you so well. After all, I've read so much about you in the papers.
You can't believe everything you read.
You mean it's not true about those 3 divorces and 2 annulments?
It was only one annulment.
Well, you know how these tabloids exaggerate.
I do. That's why I intend to keep my name out of them now.
I don't see how you're going to manage that.
I bet you could do it for me.
Well, sure. But where's my incentive?
Would money tempt you?
You might try.
$5,000.
No, I guess it wouldn't. But they say money isn't everything.
Oh. Would you like a drink?
Yes, now that I'd love.
I don't want you to get the wrong idea, Mr. Waring.
Oh, good gracious, no.
Actually, there's no reason for me to be involved in this mess. I never even knew this man, Finn.
Quinn. Steve Quinn.
Well, whatever his name was. If I didn't know him...
It follows you certainly wouldn't have killed him.
Naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Soda?
Just a squirt. Whoop, that's fine.
Now, honestly, Mike, do you see any reason why I should be involved? Don't misunderstand. If I thought I could possibly help Bill, I'd be tickled to... excuse me.
Yes, go right ahead.
Hello?
Is that you, Miss Sherman?
Who is this?
Don't tell me you've forgotten so soon. This is Ozzie Miller.
I think you have the wrong number.
I said this is Ozzie Miller.
Well, there's no one here named Parker.
What's the matter? Can't you talk?
That's right.
Oh. Okay, call me back later. I'm at the New Bedford.
I don't know what's the matter with the phone company these days.
Yeah, Congress ought to look into it. Well, much as I hate to do this, Laura, I'm afraid I'll have to tear myself away.
Oh, but you didn't even finish your drink.
Well, suppose you keep it warm for me, Angel. I may be back sooner than you expect. Hello, Ozzie.
Who are you?
Cut it out, Ozzie. You mean to tell me Laura Sherman didn't call you back?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She must have known I was on my way over. Next time you use a phone...
Look, mister.
Waring is the name.
You better get out of here.
Well, that's a pretty fancy girl you got yourself mixed up with, Miller. And if you don't watch out, you'll be toasting your pants on the Sing Sing grill.
You're crazy.
Are you and Steve Quinn working together?
Who's Steve Quinn?
How much did you take Laura for?
How much did we take her for?
Well, obviously you must have been blackmailing her.
Why? Because they called her? Maybe we're in love.
Well, I'd forget it, Ozzie. I don't think you're her type. So I can't understand where you picked up whatever it was you were holding over her. Is that where Quinn came in?
Told you to get out of here.
I assume you have a permit for that gun.
No, but it can blow just as big a hole in you. You want to say?
No, that won't be necessary, Ozzy. I know when I'm not wanted.
Four, one, three.
Hello.
That you, Randy?
Who wants to know?
Ozzy Muller.
Oh, listen, you
I just
pest.
called you to do you a little favor. You know who's working for Bill Gaynor?
I don't care
It's
who.
Mike Waring.
Who?
Waring. I bet Bill Gaynor don't go to the chair for knocking off Steve.
You think so?
Well, you know the rep that Waring's got. He's not wrong very often. I thought you might want to do something about boosting his average.
Say, Jack.
Oh, me?
Yeah, I wonder if you could give us some help. Where's the Hayden Planetarium?
I go down 3 blocks, then turn right. Then right again at the next light.
Look, Jack, I hate to put you to any trouble, but do you suppose you could take us over there?
What?
Come on, Waring. Get in.
Well, if you insist.
I do indeed. All right, Harold.
You know, nobody's going to believe this.
Won't they?
This kind of stuff went out with Little Caesar.
Well, maybe this is the right time for a revival. It all depends on how you feel about that client of yours.
You mean Bill Gaynor?
Yeah. He's got a fry for that Steve Quinn killing.
I don't know, friends. Beginning to look better for him all the time.
I hate to hear that, Waring. Maybe you better just drop the case.
Well, I don't want to seem stubborn, but I'll have to have some pretty good reasons.
Well, wait till Harold finds a nice, quiet spot, and I'll give you some. I bet they'll all hit you in the right place.
Mike, come on, Mike, wake up.
Huh?
Quit faking. You're in the hospital now.
What happened, Sergeant?
What happened? You're the luckiest guy in the world, that's all. You were hit over the head at least a dozen times.
Oh.
Sure, if they picked any other spot, you would have been a dead pigeon.
Why, you no good.
Now, do you want to tell me about it?
Why should I? Now, where's my client?
He's still sitting.
You mean you didn't let Gaynor go after this?
What's one thing got to do with the other?
Oh, you idiot. Why do you think I was beaten up? They were afraid I'd get Gaynor off.
I see.
You don't see a thing.
Well, then maybe you better explain it to me.
Gaynor was engaged to Laura Sherman.
That I told you.
Well, Steve Quinn was shaking her down.
Oh, really?
Yes, and there were several others in the deal.
Who, for instance?
For instance, a punk named Ozzie Miller. The party you want is the man behind Miller, and I know who he is. Now, if you want a description...
No, let me do it this time, huh? He's 5'11", black hair, weighs about 190.
How did you know that?
My mother was frightened by Mr. D.A.
Oh.
Shall I go on impressing you?
You can try.
Your assailant's first name's Randy. When last seen, he was driving a green Nash. License number 438-712.
Then you got him, huh?
No, but we will have in about 20 minutes.
Well, I tell you, this Randy is the boy who killed Quinn.
I don't see how you get that.
He practically admitted it to me. He was afraid I'd get Gaynor off.
Well, you can hardly blame him. You see, Randy's last name is Quinn.
What?
Yeah, he's Steve's brother. He's afraid you'd help his brother's killer get off.
Well, I figured...
Yeah, you figured. You know, that's some head you got on your shoulders, Mike. I can't blame Randy for trying to knock it off.
Of course, there are many ways to use your head. I mean, besides the way Mike's head was being used right now. For example, whenever I want a salad that's really delicious, I use my head by making sure the salad is made with Miracle Whip.
Miracle Whip.
Has a flavor so pleasing.
Miracle Whip.
Tastes so lively, so teasing.
Miracle Whip.
Only one of its kind.
Miracle Whip.
Best salad dressing you'll find.
Miracle Whip is the only one of its kind because it's a different type of salad dressing made from a secret craft recipe. Miracle Whip combines the best qualities of old-fashioned boiled dressing and mayonnaise, so it's truly distinctive and delicious, with a flavor millions of folks call just exactly right. Try it, won't you? One taste will tell you why it's America's favorite salad dressing. The one and only Miracle Whip. Now, back to the adventures of the Falcon.
An hour has passed since Mike Waring fell flat on his face. As we find him now, he's huddling with his client, trying to discover where he tripped.
I'm sorry, Mike, but I can't think of a thing.
You've got to, Gaynor. If you only had an alibi...
I haven't. I was home all alone when Quinn was killed.
Well, that's not good enough.
Well, can the police prove I wasn't?
No, they can't. That's the big item in your favor. But we can get you out of here if you'll just admit one thing.
What?
Your fight with Quinn concerned Laura Sherman. Now, come on, Gaynor. You might as well tell me the truth. I know most of it already. Quinn was blackmailing her.
That's right.
Well, what did he have on her?
Laura wouldn't tell me.
Where did Ozzie Miller fit in?
Who?
Ozzie Miller.
Laura didn't mention him.
Well, is it possible that Miller was working on his own?
I wouldn't know.
Well, suppose he was. Yeah. And suppose Quinn muscled in.
Well, then you think that...
I think it's high time we assembled our complete cast. We've got enough now to make it curtains for someone.
Friends, we are gathered here on this solemn occasion.
No. That's the wrong speech, Sergeant.
Well, what difference does it make, Mike? Mr. Miller wasn't paying attention anyway.
What's the matter, Ozzie? You bored?
You guys think you're smart.
Well...
I don't want to heckle, but when you two Rover boys are through playing games, I'd like to go.
Oh, what's your hurry, Laura? Don't you want to help us solve our little problem?
Yeah, who do you think killed Quinn?
I thought Mr. Gaynor was responsible.
I decline the nomination, Laura.
I still think you should be drafted, darling.
Well, that's not very charitable of you, Angel. Bill went to see Quinn because of you.
I didn't ask him to. It wasn't my fault if he wanted to play Sir Galahad.
Wasn't it?
No. We had a dinner date, and when I phoned him at 6 o'clock to call it off, he asked me to forgive him. We'd had a quarrel earlier that day.
About Quinn?
Yes. Somehow he guessed that Quinn was blackmailing me.
Well, I guess that does it, Sergeant.
You mean she?
I mean she'll make a first-class witness against Gaynor.
What are you babbling about?
Oh, don't breathe it to a soul, Gaynor. But I was wrong about you all along. Now, ain't that enough to kill you?
You know, Mike, there's only one thing that bothers me.
Is there?
Yeah. When I think of the way you fouled up this case.
Well, now, that's gratitude for you. I give the man a killer.
You what?
Well, just because you had Gaynor in the brig doesn't mean a thing. You never would have gotten a conviction. You didn't have a shred of proof.
You've got your nerve. I said all along that Gaynor killed Quinn because he was crazy about that girl.
Yeah, well, that just proves how flimsy your case was. That wasn't his motive at all.
No?
No, he killed Quinn because Steve muscled in on his personal gravy train.
Come again?
Look, if anybody was going to blackmail Laura, it was going to be Gaynor. Who do you think was working with Ozzie Miller?
Gaynor?
Certainly. And who else was in a position to know what Laura would pay off on? Oh, incidentally, what was that business anyway?
Well, according to Miller, New Year's Eve, while Laura was under the influence, she killed a pedestrian in Brooklyn.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, she's a grand girl. But we'll get her for it. And I still insist Gaynor could have gone over to see Quinn because she sent him.
No, never. What time did Gaynor have that tussle with Quinn?
5 o'clock in the afternoon.
And it wasn't until 6 o'clock that night that Laura told him of her troubles. Obviously, then, the information had to come from his partner, Ozzie Miller.
Well, it could have come from you.
No, never. All I told him was that Quinn had a record. So now, will you behave?
Oh, you have the nerve to sit there so smugly after lousing up this whole case.
Well, you're a great one to talk, and after all I've done for you...
All you've done for me?
Well, sure. I've always been ready to share everything 50-50 with you. And when I make a mistake,
yes,
I'm perfectly willing for you to take the rap. Now, what could be fairer than that? This is Mike Waring, friends. July 1st, this Sunday, the people of Canada are celebrating the 84th birthday of the founding of Canada as a nation. All of us in the United States cherish our fine and friendly relation with our Canadian neighbors. This spirit of friendliness that has existed without even the necessity of an armed patrol on the border is a shining example to the entire world of how two free and independent nations can live together in peace and goodwill. Congratulations, and all good wishes to our fine neighbor and good friend on her 84th anniversary.
The case of everybody's gun. The case of everybody's gun. That's the title of next week's adventure of the Falcon, when Mike Waring learns that a man who has no charity in his heart may end up with a bullet in it. So be sure to listen at the same time next week to another exciting adventure of the Falcon, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company. The Adventures of the Falcon are based on the famous character created by Drexel Drake, produced by Bernard L. Schubert, written tonight by Eugene Wang, and directed by Richard Lewis. Music was by Arlo. Les Damon was starred as the Falcon, with Chuck Webster as Sergeant Corbett. This is Ed Hurley speaking for the Kraft Foods Company.
Laugh with Groucho. He's next on NBC.